To bring you all this video. I know I haven't made any content in a while because I was really waiting for this to show up. It is a watch I traded for. I traded a lot for it. I traded my Speedmaster, the 2021 3861 Hesalite, unworn, brand new in box. You know, as you know, that's not a watch that I have ever really been that excited about, Speedmasters in general. So I kept it just brand new in box, waiting for the right trade. I traded that watch plus my Damasko DS30, awesome watch. Please check out my review of that watch, comparing it to the Sin 556A. Ultimately, that decision came down to, Sin versus Damasko, and holding them both side by side, owning them both. It just, for me, right now, the Sin 556 was just a better choice. So I traded the Speedmaster, the Sin, plus some cash for this watch. It is a Panerai. It's an older Panerai. So I have not seen this yet. So this is like, we're looking at this together. So let's see now. So I'm gonna get the box out here. That's the cardboard box, the OEM box. And now it's a simple black box, the old style one. And then you can see the old school pearwood box right here. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna take that out. And let's take a look at this thing and we will see it together. Okay, I'm gonna open it like this. And let's see here. Sorry, this box is kind of cool. Okay, more wrapping stuff, a strap, and then let's see. 1, 2, voila. Oh man, I have waited so long for this watch. It's like outrageous. I'm gonna take it out. Let's get rid of all this stuff. It's just, we can, there's not anything that we care about in the box. So let's take it out and let's just take a look at this thing real quick. Oh man, I have wanted this watch for so long. This is the Panerai, the Legend, the 223. I'm sorry, the 233. This is the Luminor GMT. Initially came out, I think, in 2007. Features Panerai's first in-house movement. It's an 8-day power reserve manual winding movement in a 44 millimeter 1950 style Luminor case. And I love the watch. I mean, it is so nice. It is so well done. I've wanted one for a long time. I've only ever seen these in pictures, and I've wanted it like forever, ever since the watch first came out. It's gone through some iterations. Initially, it had a dot dial. So where it says AM and PM here, it had a little dot right there, like a circle that showed you the AM PM indicator, and they changed that. You can see the beautiful movement right here, hand winding, just so old school, so quintessential Panerai, but maybe like, I don't know, one of the few modern Panerais that sort of harken back to the good old days, but also have like a useful complication. So it's 44 millimeter 1950 style case. On my wrist today, you see I have my trusty 683. That's the 42 millimeter sub. Awesome watch. Check out my review of it. But let's see them side by side. You can see that, the 42 and the 44 millimeter, the case size is similar, but this one has like a little bit of a sexier look to it. They both have a 1950 style case, but you can see this one is just a little bit more rounded, more sort of voluptuous, so to speak. This is a little more Sophia Loren, if you will, than this one. God, I've wanted this watch for a long time. It's really interesting to me always whenever I get a watch, and if I have wanted it for like a really long time, finally getting to see it and hold it. Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's a weird kind of like sensation. The dial is beautiful. Unlike the 683, so this is a, so this is like a cutout dial. So basically it's a Loom disc on the bottom, and the numerals are stenciled in, the dial is stenciled in, so the Loom is very bright. You can see the 8-day power reserve right here at 9. Just really awesome. Let me throw it on the wrist real quick, and I'm probably gonna have to change straps, although it is on like a really cool OEM, like aged black leather strap. You can see it there. I mean, look at that. I love it. I love it. This is such a cool watch. I would say this is one of the quintessential Panerai. You know, maybe if you're really into the brand, you do a lot of research into the brand, and as everyone I hope knows by now, I'm really into Panerai. This is one that I think you really have to try out. I never thought I'd be able to get one. Not that they're that expensive, but just, you know, the stars never aligned for me. But I was able to work out a trade to, I don't know, get rid of some really nice watches, but ultimately watches I knew weren't my style and knew that I wouldn't be wearing very much. So I sent those off to good homes. I did have to add some cash, but I was able to sort of like make this happen. It's got some really useful complications. It's got a GMT, and it's a true GMT movement, meaning that the hour can be advanced forward and backwards, but 1 hour increments. The date sets forward and backwards. Like I said, an 8-day manual winding power reserve. Look at that, like domed sapphire crystal. Just beautiful. I mean, just something that like I said, it's interesting getting a watch finally after so many years that you've always wanted. Putting it on your wrist, looking at it, and knowing that, man, this was worth it. That this is going to be a keeper in my collection. So now, really, my Panerai collection comes down to, I guess, these two watches right now. You know, check out some of my other videos. Y'all know that I've had a lot of Panerai, you know, come and go in my collection. I love them. It's always painful whenever I have to let one go, but I'm trying hard to edit my watches into what I would consider, based on whatever, you know, arbitrary criteria in my head, edit them into meaningful watches. And I feel like, you know, the 683 Luminor represents modern Panerai's maybe renaissance or resurgence, you know, their attempt to get back into the fight against brands like Omega and Rolex. And then the 233 really represents probably the pinnacle of Panerai when it came out in 2007. It was a really unexpected, revolutionary, beautiful watch that put Panerai's manufacturer movements on the map. And so that's it. I just have these two Panerai in my collection now. And I don't think this is a bad two-watch Panerai collection. You know, the 233 manual winding, you know, has the stencil dial, has a domed sapphire crystal, it has the 1950s vintage case, plus a, you know, it's 100 meters water resistant, plus a 683 42 millimeter sub. You know, it's got the ceramic upgrade. It's got some hits of blue on the dial. It's an automatic 3-day power reserve movement. So anyway, like I always do whenever I'm really passionate or excited about something, I'm rambling, but I hope you, you know, I hope you can sense how much I have wanted this watch, how interested I have been in it. And I promise you, as soon as this video is done, I'm going to be just like looking at this all, you know, all night long, and just, you know, checking it out and watching every video I can about it, like I already have 10 times. Anyway, a quick look at something new that came into my collection. This is the Panerai 233. Just a legend of a watch. If you don't know, please Google it and do some research on this watch. I think it's Panerai at its best, certainly modern Panerai at its best. Debuted in 2007. Development of the movement started in 2002. So it took 5 years for them to get the movement right. And that's why the movement is actually called the 2002. Still in production though. It's still on the website. It retails for, I think, $12,300, which is certainly a lot of money. This one, my version, looks just like the newer ones. The dial is the same. I got it for trade value, much less than that. But you know, I mean, but secondary market prices for a 233 are, I mean, they're not that cheap. I mean, this one holds its value very well, because I think people know that, hey, if you want one Panerai, if there's a one do-it-all Panerai, 233 is definitely in that conversation. So prices for these are usually, you know, 9,000, 10,000. There's not a lot of them available for sale at any one time, I have to admit. And the reason is because it's such a go everywhere, do everything watch. It's just, you know, the complication is useful. It's got a date. It's well integrated. You know, I love dates on my watches, so that's a biggie for me. One of the first Panerai to incorporate the quick change system. The first Panerai with their own legit in-house movement with an 8-day power reserve. Of course, we got the classic Panerai styling. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. I hope you like this quick look at a watch that I'm super excited about, my Panerai 233. Guys, take care. God bless. Stay warm, stay safe.